Welcome to the Stokastic DFS YouTube page. The NBA DFS ownership projections that I'm going to go over today are all behind a paywall, but you can try them for 3 free days and take a deeper dive yourself. Alright, let's dive in. Alright, so here's the NBA DFS ownership projections for the main slate on Stokastic. Of course, we have all the headers just like normal. Player's name, their salary, position, matchup, team, and opponent. And then lastly, we have ownership, which is always going to start out sorted by highest to lowest. And why ownership is important is because you want to create leverage on each one of your players to get into your lineups. This should be your final decision on how much you want to play each player. Maybe you really like Tim Hardaway Jr. after looking at some of the other tools, and you see that he is set up to score pretty well, or at least he's projected to. And then you go over and look at his ownership, and you think, whoa, if 50%, half the field's going to have him, I mean, that's way too much. And you could create leverage by going way under. You could just not pick him at all. And these are obviously risks. Anytime you don't pick a player at all and make that decision, it's a risk knowing that if he plays well, then a lot of your lineups are going to be dead, or you probably don't have any chance to take down the tournament. Maybe you love Tim Hardaway Jr. and that 50% ownership doesn't bother you. Maybe you're figuring on pretty much locking him in or going really high above that anyways. That is also creating leverage in your own lineups. However, you're taking on a lot more risk that if he doesn't play well, again, with that much ownership or being exposed to 70, 80, 90% of Tim Hardaway, then a lot of your lineups will be dead, or you'll have a hard time cashing or taking down the tournament just on this one play alone. So if you think about it, if you're playing in a large field GPP with 30,000 people and he's projected to be 50% owned, that means 15,000 people will have him in their lineups, or 15,000 lineups will have him in there. And if he does well, then 15,000 people are pretty much what you're going to be going against. All those other people who played Tim Hardaway Jr. is what you'll be going against on this one play. Go down to Tyler Hero, same thing, almost 39% ownership at 7,200. Is probably projected for mid to high 30s, I would imagine. Which way do you go on this? This should always be your final, no matter how much you like or dislike a player. Once you get to the ownership and see what he's projected to be owned, this should be how you make your final decision to go over, under the field. Does it make sense to just not play him at all? Does it make sense to go way under the field, right with the field? Maybe you don't really have a great say or a great feel one way or the other, and you just want to match the field around 40% ownership on Tyler Hero. These are all decisions that you need to be making. And these ownership percentages will be updated throughout the day. So the last update we ran was 2 hours ago. It's a pretty small slate today. And if and when news breaks, maybe Tyler Hero gets ruled out, that would bump up other players on the Miami Heat who will see minutes increase, the projection increase. And with that, obviously, would shift around these ownerships quite a bit. And any news to another player won't just affect that player's team. It will also affect the rest of the players on the slate. It just all depends, and like I said, it will always be up to date with any breaking news. These updates are always running, and you can always see the latest projection updates on here. Again, we can go through these tabs. If you wanted to sort alphabetically, you just click on here by salary, highest to lowest. If you want to look for a specific position, maybe let's say center. It's the last piece you need, and you have anywhere from 3,000 to 6,500 left to spend on a center. Jared Allen is projected to be highly owned, and Marvin Bagley is projected for just 6%. So with this ownership, this is a good way to make a decision. Again, would you rather have Jared Allen at 28% or Marvin Bagley against, you're only going against 6% of the field? If Marvin Bagley does well or even outscores Jared Allen, obviously you'll be going against a lot less people at 6.3% than you would if Jared Allen does well and you picked him at almost 30% of the field. So these are always scenarios and questions that you need to answer based on constructing each and every one of your players in your lineups. And then, as always, with all of our tools, we also have projections for FanDuel, which over here, again, things change. FanDuel's prices are different from DraftKings. Their projections are a little bit different just based on the scoring between FanDuel and DraftKings. So Bruce Brown at 5,600 is projected to be the highest owned player today on FanDuel, whereas on DraftKings, it's projected to be, we'll sort by, reset this, Tim Hardaway Jr. at 50%. So there's a big difference there. Bruce Brown is down here at 26.4, so he's about the 8th or 9th highest projected to be owned, where on FanDuel he is number 1. And Tim Hardaway is actually down here at about 10th. And then obviously we also offer ownership projections for Yahoo if you play over on Yahoo. And Tim Hardaway is also projected to be the highest owned over on Yahoo. So whichever site you play on, we have projections for all of them. And you just click these tabs up top to change over to the site. That's definitely something. Anytime you load any of our tools, it defaults to DraftKings tab. Just make sure that you click on the tab that you need to use. Otherwise, obviously this information will be skewed as opposed to what you need it for. All right, guys, that'll do it for the NBA DFS ownership projections. Keep an eye out for more of our tutorial videos that will be linked in the description below. Remember, once you join Stokastic Plus, join our Discord channel where you can ask any questions that you may have. Thanks for watching.